Part 68. My evil Imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 671. Lu Muting walked out of the restaurant with two identical-looking men, and Lu Muan did not hesitate to let them get on the carriage together. After Lu Muting got into the car, the Murongqing brothers and Wu Nuan also discovered that this person and Lu Muan looked very similar. In fact, the facial features of the two can be said to be 90% similar, just because one is a man and the other is a woman, and the temperament is very different, so people feel that they are only 70 or 80% alike. But at a glance, you can see that they are definitely brother and sister. This is my second brother, Lu Muting. Lu Muan took Lu Muting's arm and introduced them to several people, and at the same time introduced the three of Murongqing to Lu Muting. After greeting each other, Lu Muting introduced the two brothers beside him to Lu Muan. Muan is the Lu family brothers, they are another swordsman who has ascended to the lower level. When I was in trouble, they saved me. Lu Muan said with a sincere smile, thank you both. Judging from the breadth of these two people, they were the cultivation bases in the early stage of Danyuanjing. They saved Lu Muting when he didn't know his identity. The purpose should be very simple. Miss Lu, you're welcome. The two smiled back at the same time. Soon, the group returned to the other courtyard. Others winked and left, leaving only the two brothers and sisters to reunite. Sister, as soon as the door of the room closed, Lu Muting hugged Lu Muan excitedly. Lu Muan said with a warm smile, brother has grown taller, and he has become a lot more stable. You stinky girl, you made fun of your brother, Lu Muting said, habitually scratching Lu Muan's nose. Lu Muan pulled him to sit down and asked, where's big brother and the others? Did they also ascend together? I don't know. Lu Muting smiled bitterly, I accidentally broke into a secret realm and obtained a fortune, and my cultivation base broke through to the Danyuan realm and was directly transmitted to the Guangling realm. With the help of the power after he transferred the spirit body with his elder brother and the resources left by Lu Muan to shock the sword god, he went to experience a dangerous situation in Tianling continent. Lu Muan nodded, her second brother is simply the kind of foolish person who often breaks through by chance. What grade is your golden core? High grade Jindan. Lu Muting smiled shyly, I shaped Jindan very well, and the speed of cultivation after arriving in Guangling world is much faster than in Tianling continent. Of course, your talent is already excellent, you have the body of the sword spirit, and the spiritual energy of the Guangling world is so strong, it's no wonder that you are not practicing quickly, Lu Muan said with a sullen smile. Although she had a physique before, but after eradicating her talent showed up against the sky. Lu Muting is her twin brother, so naturally his talent is no worse than hers. How were your elder brother, grandpa, and father's cultivation base when you entered the secret realm? Are you about to touch the barrier of the Danyuan realm? Lu Muan asked. Not only did she leave behind a lot of high-level medicinal pills and spirit wine, but also heaven-level exercises, so she believed that it would not take too long for them to advance to the Danyuan realm. Grandpa and father should have a few years before they can break through. Big brother may have already broken through. Even if I haven't made a breakthrough yet, it's definitely not far. Lu Muting paused and said, when I went to practice, my eldest brother had already stepped into the Danyuan realm with half of his feet. At that time, he was in retreat and comprehend. Didn't your ascension land at the contact point of the human race? Lu Muan asked after thinking for a while. No, I suddenly flew up there, and the space node changed, so I was teleported to the border of the Biwen Empire. Lu Muting shook his head. Lu Muan thought that this was right. Through contacting the crystal ball and Mingxiu, she knew that he had set up spies at the major ascension points in the human realm very early. She will be notified as soon as possible. Lu Muting has been soaring for more than 2 months, but no news has come. It is indeed a problem with the space node. So has his eldest brother soared? You don't have to worry about it. Big Brother will be fine if he ascends to the Guangling world. Lu Muting comforted, although the space nodes sometimes fail to transmit to the connection point of the human domain, there will be no life-threatening transmission in the transmission of the laws of heaven and earth. The two chatted for a while, and Lu Muan asked roughly what happened after she left. Lu Muting looked around and asked, "Where's Meow Meow? Why didn't he come out when he saw me?" Lu Muan hooked her lips and gently pinched the little white snake wrapped around her hand with her fingers. "Is this little girl shy? Should not be." Then a white light flew out from Lu Muan's wrist and instantly turned into a girl. The girl is wearing a white dress, with a beautiful figure, exquisite facial features, fair skin that can be broken by blows, big eyes like a deep spring, and a smart and pleasant temperament. "You, are you Meow Meow?" Lu Muting asked in disbelief at the sudden appearance of the beautiful girl. Meow Meow suddenly rushed in front of Lu Muting and took the initiative to sit on his lap, wrapping his hands around his neck as if he was a child and rubbing, "Fool, you are here." Meow Meow is a monster, so she has no awareness and scruples about infidelity between men and women. She used to like Lu Muan and Lu Muting hugging the most, so this kind of action is just an instinct. And even if she knew about it, she wouldn't care. The demon cultivator is much more straightforward than the human race, and she doesn't care about those false things. Lu Muting's body froze, and he didn't know where to put his hands. With a doting smile in his eyes, Meow Meow has grown into a big girl. "Yeah. I've grown up." Meow Meow smiled happily, seeing Lu Muting. She didn't know why she was happy from the bottom of her heart. So he put his head to his neck and rubbed it again as if he was a child, and Lu Muting's ears instantly turned red. Lu Muan is happy to see her second brother and Meow Meow develop naturally. It is not uncommon for people and demon cultivators to combine together, especially in the Guangling world. According to his second brother's temperament, he and Meow Meow are quite compatible. If the two of them can't get together in the future, it will be fine, she will not intervene. In the evening, Lu Muan met with Lu Muting's two good friends again and invited them to join the Mufeng mercenary group. She will soon hand over the management of the Mufeng mercenary group to her brother, so it is very important to accumulate his own network resources. These two brothers are a good team. Lu Muting and the two also registered as mercenaries together before. They have been taking missions continuously in the past 2 months. They have met several dangers and supported each other to resolve them. They can be regarded as life and death. The feelings between people sometimes come quickly, especially such friendships that have gone through life and death are more reliable. The two brothers did not expect that the person they rescued unintentionally, who was pleasing to the eye and had similar interests, was actually the elder brother of the head of the Mufeng mercenary regiment who had recently been rumored to be. The two of them were promoted to the Guangling world together, but they didn't have the slightest background or acquaintance, so Lu Muan invited them to join the Murong mercenary corps, and they readily agreed. The two brothers had formed a mercenary group when they were in the original lower-level interface, and they had a strong sense of belonging and love for the profession of mercenary. On the third day, the brothers Lu Muting and Lu Jia also went to Danta to participate in the competition with Lu Muan. "My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant." Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 672. Lu Muan and others went to Bai Yuanhuang's private room to rest first, and they didn't have to line up with the identity of this private room. Today is the last alchemy competition at the Bizhu Danta branch, so the people queuing outside are like a long queue, bustling and impassable. "Muan, are you sure you will win the championship?" Fei Yanchen poured a cup of spiritual tea for Lu Muan himself. Lu Muan smiled confidently, "Well, it's more than 50% sure." She has observed the alchemy techniques of the other 19 people who entered the third game in the Bizhu branch this time. She determined that the strongest person was only a 6th grade alchemist, so she was 100% sure. "Win the championship?" Then we are here to wish Miss Lu that you will win the championship and advance directly to the Central State Finals. And Yukian raised his teacup to Lu Muan like a toast. Thank you. This time, only 20 people entered the final without having to divide it into several rounds, and it officially started in half an hour. When Lu Muan and other 20 people all gathered and stood on the competition stage to master, an old man with white hair and Tanjian with elegant temperament appeared. This third final is hosted by this old man. The deputy tower master restrained his breath, and many people present could not see his cultivation. However, Lu Muan could see that this was a strong man who merged with the lower realm. As her time in the Guangling world increased, her knowledge continued to grow, and with the popularization of secret and common things every month, she also knew a lot of things that ordinary people could not know. For example, the sword masters in the fusion realm are also divided into several separate realms. The sword masters in the fusion realm are considered to be at the pinnacle of the powerhouses in the Guangling continent. Each realm is divided into early stage, middle stage, late stage, and peak, which is similar to other levels. Each realm in the fusion realm also belongs to a large realm that spans, and it is even difficult to cross-level battle between the two realms. For example, sword masters in the Danyuan realm have to challenge the Earth Yuan realm by leaps and bounds. Many peerless geniuses can do it, but it is said that it is more difficult for a sword master in the fusion lower realm to challenge the fusion realm than the sky. She heard Ming Xiu say that after arriving in the fusion realm, she must rely on understanding the elements of the laws of heaven and earth to advance. Every strong person in the fusion realm has mastered a secret rule derived from the fusion realm. It is not a sword master who cultivates in the fusion realm. Comparable. The difference between the lower realm of fusion and the middle realm of fusion is not only the cultivation base, but also a realm of mastering the mystery of the rules. If you want to leapfrog and challenge the fundamental cultivation realm, the strength is already second, but the talents who have to break through the rules may be more difficult. Tier Battle. She came to this world just after breaking through to the integration stage in her previous life. According to the level of sword master cultivation, it was the early days of the Tianyuan realm, so her cultivation experience and exercises could only support her to advance to the Tianyuan realm. In the future, she can only rely on her own re-exploration to find a way to truly belong to her own powerhouse. Therefore, after coming to the Guangling realm, she still compresses the essence of every element of her body and finally turns it into the purest spiritual power, and the speed of her cultivation is also suppressed, otherwise she would have broken through to the earth realm long ago. She needs to make the foundation of her body, soul power, spiritual power purity as strong as possible, so that it will be more conducive to her impact on the fusion realm in the future. The top 10 in the third game this time will go to Zhongzhou to participate in the finals of the Danta Alchemy contest in half a year, so you must do your best today. Such an opportunity only comes once in 50 years, and you only get one chance to participate in your lifetime. The Human Domain Pagoda will hold an alchemy competition on the mainland every 50 years, and all alchemists under the age of 100 can participate, so each young alchemist has only one chance before the age of 100. Compared to ordinary people, a 100-year-old swordsman is actually very young. After all, as long as a swordsman who has broken through to the Danyuan realm has 1,000 years to live, the more he goes up, the longer he can live, and after reaching the fusion realm, he can live for tens of thousands of years. The deputy tower owner continued, the third game is very simple, you choose a medicine to refine, and the medicine that comes with the material can be taken away. Keep half in exchange. It's best for you to choose the best and highest grade medicine pill refining, and finally the top 10 with the highest grade, the highest quality, and the best pill rate will participate in the finals, and the ranking from champion to 20th is also based on this. Standard to judge. Okay, now the person who needs to ask Danta for the application materials quickly go to the referees next to him to explain that those who bring their own materials can start refining. The maximum time for the third match is 3 hours. Once this time is exceeded, Those who have not been refined will be eliminated. There is no limit to the number of refining times. I announce the official start of the third game. As soon as the voice of the Deputy Danta Master fell, several of the 20 people went to a specific place to apply for borrowing materials. Loom Wan did not start immediately, but waited for everyone to start refining the spirit grass before deciding what medicine pill to refine. The other 19 people had already thought about their own medicinal pills in their hearts, and they were all their strongest strengths. However, Loom Wan was different. She was already an 8th rank alchemist. She didn't want to reveal too much of her strength in such a competition, so she would play slowly in the finals. Therefore, as long as the refined medicine grade or quality exceeds these 19 people, it will be fine. Loom Wan took out the colorful glazed tripod after the game started for a while, and took out a spirit grass for refining 6th grade high-grade medicinal pills. Her alchemy style has become a self-contained body, so she will not slowly refine it one by one like everyone else in order not to show special. She still threw it into the pill stove in a single-minded manner, and refining the 6th grade pills did not require the spiritual fire of her life. Her fire energy attribute has reached the peak of Dachan, and it is much stronger than many alchemists who master animal fire. Similarly, while others were still refining one by one, and even when some people had failed once or twice to continue, all the spirit grasses in her pill furnace turned into powder and began to fuse to condense pills. Loom Wan has become a master of playing with fire, whether she is a fire element or a spirit fire. She doesn't need a high degree of mental concentration to control the size of the main flame like other 6th grade alchemists. She only needs a thought, and the flame of alchemy will be presented delicately. Her movements are elegant and skillful, and each step looks unhurried and well organized, but in fact it takes very little time. The Deputy Tower Master and several other senior elders in the Pill Tower branch kept their eyes on Loom Wan, and even they had to admit that this girl was pleasing to the eye when she was concocting alchemy. Clang! Before the time for a stick of incense came, Loom Wan patted the pill furnace lightly, and 8 round and full honey-colored pills flew out of the pill furnace one by one and fell into the pill bottle on the table. The Deputy Tower Master and several people had already seen the grade and quality of the medicinal pill from the moment Loom Wan Dan fell, and they couldn't help but shrink their pupils. What Loom Wan refined was actually 8 high-grade 6th-rank top-grade medicinal pills. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 673. The speed of Loom Wan's refining of medicinal pills not only shocked the alchemists of the Pill Tower branch, but even those who were watching were stunned. Although the Deputy Tower owner was very excited, now is not the time to vent his emotions and talk. Loom Wan retreated to the side after refining the elixir, closed his eyes, and began to absorb the spiritual energy of the world without any scruples. Judging from the speed of other alchemists, it would take at least an hour to complete the comparison. It took longer than Loom Wan expected, and after 2 hours, everyone's medicinal pills were refined. The Deputy Tower Master and the Elegant Deacon personally inspected the medicinal pills made by 20 alchemists, and announced the results after a stick of incense. The old man announced that the champion of the Spizhudanta branch is Loom Wan. She has refined 8 top-grade 6th-grade medicinal pills. Whether it is the alchemy skills, fire control ability, or the pill yield rate, they are all in perfect condition. Immediately, the Deputy Tower Master announced the names of the 9 alchemists behind, and presented the champion's reward to Loom Wan in a space ring. After the game, Loom Wan was left alone by the Deputy Tower Master, Transzion. Loom Wan walked to Danta's private room and saw the white-haired and young-looking old man sitting inside with an elegant man. "Little girl is here, sit down." The Deputy Tower Master smiled and pointed at the position opposite him casually. Lum Wan walked over without restraint, sat down and asked with a respectful smile, I don't know what the senior is looking for with the junior. Little girl, your real strength in alchemy should be 7th rank. The deputy tower master smiled kindly. Senior is really looking like a mirror, my alchemy level is indeed the 7th rank. Lum Wan nodded. The deputy tower master's love is still the same, your talent in alchemy is very good, especially the skills of condensing and condensing alchemy are very skilled. Not only the quality of elixirs is high, but the success rate of elixirs is also very high. If you have anything to say, just say it directly. Lum Wan naturally knew the reason why the other party came to her, but it was to let her join the pill tower. As Lum Wan expected, the deputy tower master touched his beard and asked, Little girl, our alchemy tower is the birthplace and concentration of alchemists in the entire Guangling world, and the alchemy masters of the other 3 domains together do not have our alchemy tower. Are you interested in joining us? Of course, as long as you are willing to join the pill tower, whether it is the North State Branch Tower or the Central State Headquarters, I can let you directly enter the core hall of the Dan Tower to cultivate, and there will be no shortage of resources and spirit grass for alchemy promotion. Immediately he added a sentence. I'm sorry, senior, I don't want to join any organization yet. I'll talk about it after the finals of alchemy. Lum Wan declined with a smile. Her refusal was also expected by the deputy tower master. After thinking about it, he said, okay, let's talk about it after the alchemy finals. He also wanted to see what Lum Wan's real strength was. If he could get the top 10 in the finals of Zhongzhou, he could also apply to the headquarters for more resources and conditions. Okay, Lum Wan was still very fond of the old man who seemed to be of high moral character. The face is born from the heart, this old man has a broad mind and extraordinary temperament, and is a respectable senior. I heard that you formed a mercenary group and also served as the head of the group, asked the deputy tower master. Well, I prefer an adventurous and exciting life. Lum Wan nodded. The deputy tower owner thought about it and then reminded, your talent in alchemy is really good, don't delay. A profession like a mercenary spends his whole life on quests and adventures. For an alchemist, it is not suitable for long-term development. He still hopes that Lum Wan can see further. Lum Wan didn't explain much, and humbly accepted the other party's kindness. Thank you for the reminder, senior, junior will pay attention. Well, the little girl is really smart. The deputy tower owner took out a big silver token engraved with a slap and handed it to Lum Wan and said, this is a token of our Dan Tower. In the future, if you want to buy rare spirit herbs, you can go to the Dan Tower with this token. This 1 token permission purchase. Of course, if you have something to ask the old man, you can also use this token to go to the pill building and let someone pass the news to me. The deputy tower owner smiled expectantly and said, this old man is the tower owner of the Bizhu Branch Tower, Lu Feng. You are welcome to join the Danta at any time. Okay, thank you senior. By the way, do you need to go to Zhongzhou now? The deputy tower owner continued, our Danta will apply to the Biwen royal family for an opportunity to use the teleportation array in 10 days. If you want to go to Zhongzhou, you can follow along. Biwen Kingdom is very far away from Zhongzhou, and it would take at least 3 months to get there by the normal route, which also includes the constant transmission at the transfer station every time. If he were to travel on his own, it would take at least a year for Lum Wan to cultivate at the primordial realm. The teleportation formation of the Biwen royal family can directly reach Zhongzhou, at least the cost is very high. It needs hundreds of high-grade spirit stones alone, and tens of thousands of middle-grade spirit stones. Therefore, Danta gave a separate benefit to the top 10 who entered the finals, which was to use the teleportation array to teleport to the mainland of Zhongzhou for free. Thank you for your kindness, senior, there are still some things I can't go to Zhongzhou for the time being. Lum Wan refused with a smile. Now she doesn't want to go directly to the deep water and 4 seas in Zhongzhou. She needs to use this half-year to hone herself to suppress the pure spiritual power and advance to the Yuan realm, and she also wants to take a look. The mainland of Zhongzhou is where she will develop in the future, and she is not in a hurry to unveil it so quickly. Since this is the case, the old man is not reluctant, but you must come at the time set in the final half a year later. The deputy tower owner does not want such a good seedling to give up the 50-year alchemy competition for some reason. Yes, the juniors will definitely not live up to the expectations of the seniors. After leaving the private room of Danta, Lum Wen returned to Emperor Biwen's private room. Mu Yan, do the people from Danta want you to join them? Fei Yanchen asked with a deep smile. He knew that the 3 inspectors of Anyukian were here to win over Lum Wen this time, so he would ask this in order to make her worth more. Lum Wen gave Fei Yanchen a compliment in her heart, and replied, well, the deputy tower master wants to invite me to join the practice in the central hall of the Danta. Miss Lu didn't agree, right, and Yukian's expression was calm, his eyes were restrained and he couldn't see his emotions clearly. With what he knew about this little fox recently, she would never agree to recruit things right now. Young master and knows me well. Lum Wen chuckled lightly. That shows that we still have a good chance to be brothers and sisters with Miss Lu, and Yukian said with a half smile. Lum Wen smiled and didn't answer. Miss Lu, what are your plans recently? Xia Xuanyi asked, are you going to Zhongzhou with the other alchemists from the Pill Tower? My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 674. Lum Wen was not surprised to hear Xia Xuanyi's words. She heard that the inspection of the mercenary union made the inspectors follow up for a long time. No, I'm not going to teleport to the mainland of Zhongzhou with Danta. She paused and continued, I'm going to take the Mufeng mercenary group on a mission to the mainland of Zhongzhou in the past 6 months. On the road between Biwen Empire and Zhongzhou, there are transfer stations in many large cities. As long as you pay a certain amount of spiritual stone, you can transfer to the next large city. She has already calculated the time, and it is enough for the mercenary group to upgrade the Mufeng mercenary group to the 7th level in half a year. Ms. Lu, do you mind if we join the mission? And Yukian couldn't give up Lum Wen before she joined other organizations, but if you refuse, we will follow you secretly. This is our mission. Duty. The 3 of them can follow Lum Wen and his party secretly, but it is right not to be smart when dealing with smart people. Lum Wen raised her eyebrows, since you said so, can I still refuse? Then we are happy to cooperate, and Yukian chuckled lightly. He just likes to deal with smart people who know how to advance and retreat. Naturally, neither Xia Xuanyi nor Chu 11 would object to this proposal. As supervisors, they still need to have more contact with Lum Wen to prevent other major forces from digging corners. After all, Lum Wen has not yet joined the fusion party, but has registered as a mercenary, and is nominally a member of their mercenary union. Fei Yanchen sent Lum Wen and his group back to the other courtyard and did not leave in a hurry, but instead stayed. Yanchen, what's the matter with you? Lum Wen and Fei Yanchen were good friends after 6 months of getting along with each other. Fei Yanchen smiled and nodded and said, Mu Yan, I also want to join your Mufeng mercenary group. He didn't like a restrained life at first, otherwise he wouldn't have traveled often before. After working as a mercenary with Lum Wen and others for half a year, he also liked this kind of life that stimulates unity and cooperation. He likes this relatively simple friendship without many conflicts of interest, and likes the joy of getting things to share with everyone. Lum Wen's eyes showed surprise and asked, does Emperor Biwen know? Would Emperor Biwen allow his own younger brother to join the mercenary group as a mercenary? Yes, I have persuaded the 3rd brother, he has agreed. Fei Yanchen smiled. His 3rd brother's love for him came from the bottom of his heart, so he took the responsibility and let him choose the direct path freely. He would not refuse such kindness. And being a mercenary is not a shameful thing. If one day the Mufen mercenary group can become a 9th level mercenary group, or even a 10th level mercenary group, it will definitely be a larger force than Biwen Kingdom, and it will be more powerful. Have status. There is a day when he might be able to help the third brother. Half a year later, when I go to the Danta finals, I should resign from the Mufen mercenary group. At most, I will just hang a name, and then hand over the Mufen mercenary group to my brother. Lum Wan looked at it with a smile. Are you still sticking to your decision? He said. If Fei Yanchen came for them, he would definitely refuse, and if he really liked the profession of mercenary, he would agree. I insist, Fei Yanchen replied without hesitation. He has a self-consciousness that the Mufen mercenary group will one day be a blockbuster in the mainland, even if the head of the group is only Lum Wan's brother Lum Yuding. The younger sister is so powerful, the elder brother must not be too far behind, and from the contact with Lum Yuding, that person is very suitable for the position of the head of the mercenary regiment. Okay, Lum Wan raised a hand with a smile in his eyes and said, we welcome you to join the Mufen mercenary corps. I'm honored to. Fei Yanchen reached out and shook her hand. The next day, Lum Wan took the Ming League Order and the Pill Pagoda to the trading place opened by the Phantom Alliance Chamber of Commerce and Pill Pagoda to buy a large amount of level 7 spirit grass, and also bought several seeds for the level 8 spirit grass. Lum Wan and his party did not stay in Biwen Empire for long, and they set off after receiving a 7th level mission 3 days later. The Danta competition held once every 50 years can be regarded as the prosperous world of the entire human domain, and all parties, big and small, are paying attention. The big forces want to recruit the best in the alchemy competition, and the small and medium forces also want to find some alchemists who are not high in alchemy but have talent and no background. Therefore, even if the finals of the alchemy competition have not yet officially started, the sub-competitions of the 5 states are also very concerned. The other 3 domains are also paying attention to this competition, but they are more concerned about the finals, and only know the news about the split. Lum Wan has also begun to appear in the message lists of various forces. After all, the talent of a 6th grade advanced alchemist under the age of 20 is very good, and it is absolutely possible to cultivate into a 7th grade or even an 8th grade alchemist. However, many forces are still waiting. They want to see how much potential Lum Wan has, so they wait to see her performance in the finals. There were quite a few small and medium-sized forces that offered to Lum Wan an olive branch through various channels, but they were all rejected by her directly. Many people in the human domain paid attention to Lum Wan, especially the news that she led the 6th level Mufen mercenary group to smash the 8th level Wild Lion mercenary group headquarters. Although many people do not believe it, it does not affect her reputation gradually. Many people in the human domain pay attention to Lum Wan. Although the other 4 domains don't pay much attention to the sub-arena games, the news of Lum Wan has also spread back. Under the underground palace of a hall in the demon domain, a beautiful and gentle woman walked in. The woman in red who was sitting in the middle of a pile of dead people suddenly opened her eyes, looked at the gentle woman and frowned and asked, "Why are you here?" "I'll come and see Big Sister." The gentle woman's voice was gentle and pleasant. The great saint raised her eyebrows and said with a slight sarcasm, "Nothing goes without going to the 3 treasures hall. I don't have anything here that you can draw." The 3 saints don't look gentle and soft on the outside, but among the saints and saints, they are notoriously deep and vicious, more sinister than the most venomous snake in the world. She had never liked to associate with this sinister and vicious woman. "I just heard that the eldest sister is inquiring about someone, and I came here to tell the eldest sister today." The 3 saints didn't care about the attitude of the eldest saint. This woman is too arrogant, and her scheming is not too deep. "Do you have news about Lum Wan's dead girl?" The great saint narrowed her eyes and said. She didn't know about the festival between the 3 saints and Lum Wan, but she was more curious about how this sinister woman cared about this. "Yeah. The eldest sister has been investigating the whereabouts of this person, and I accidentally found out that I also paid attention to it for a while. The three saintess chuckled lightly and said, "It happened that I saw some news from Renai recently, and when I saw this person's name, I came to the eldest sister to ask for favor. The fact that she invaded the Tianling continent and tried to seize the demon race battle ruins was very secret, and the great saintess didn't know the secret, so she was not afraid that the other party would doubt her purpose. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 675. When the great saint heard the three saints, the main reason was that she wanted to remember a favor for herself, and she let go of her vigilant heart. "You got news about that dead girl?" The three saintess smiled lightly and said, "The alchemy competition in the 50-year-old Danta Pagoda has begun, and the competition in the 5 subvenues has ended. There is news that the name of the champion of the Bizhu subvenue is called Lum Wan. But maybe it's just the same name, and I'm not sure she's the person the eldest sister is looking for." Then the three saintess changed the subject. The great saint's face showed a stern expression. "No, if she is the champion of the alchemy competition, it must be her. That dead girl's alchemy technique is very good. Why can't the eldest sister get along with a human little guy?" the three saints asked with a bit of curiosity. Her curious expression made the great saintly general put down the last doubt, and replied lightly, "You don't need to worry about the third sister, just give me the information you got. Eldest sister, if there is a place where you can get your sister, you must remember to say it." The three saintess handed a jade slip in their hands to the first saint. The great saint nodded, "Don't worry, I remember this favor. Then eldest sister, continue to practice, I'll go back first. Go." The gentle smile on the face of the three saintess immediately subsided as soon as they came out of the main hall, and there was a sneering look in her eyes. This woman was really stupid when she was hurt by a man back then, and now she's getting more and more mindless, but it's exactly what she wants. After the three saints left, a man in black loomed from a stone pillar not far away. He smiled playfully and quickly left the hall. The great saint read all the news about Lum Wan in Yujian, and soon disappeared into the underground palace. The headquarters of the Devil's Dark City also has an additional assassination mission specifically aimed at Lum Wan, the head of the Mufeng mercenary group of the human territory, with an intermediate level. The dark markets in the Guangling realm and the Tianling continent are not the same. The dark markets in the 4 domains are all under the control of the mysterious Dark Emperor, and the infiltration of the demons is not deep. There are 2 levels of quests for the dark market in the Guangling realm. One is the quest level below the Danyuan realm, and the other is the quest level above the Danyuan realm. The quest levels above the Danyuanjing are further divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced, top level, difficult, super difficult, and life and death. The task level is not determined by the person who entrusts it, but based on the information of the person to be killed. Originally, sword masters who had no background in the cultivation base of the Danyuan realm were generally junior, but in view of the fact that the Mufeng mercenary group defeated the 8th level Mad Lion mercenary group, the Dark Market temporarily designated the assassination mission as intermediate. Of course, if the mid-level mission fails, the level of the mission will increase accordingly, and the price that the entruster needs to pay will also undergo earth-shaking changes. 3 months later. The night was slightly cool, a full moon was in the sky, and the stars were twinkling. A woman sat cross-legged on the highest peak of a deep mountain. She kept changing her hands to form seals, and the power of the stars swayed little by little and fell into her body. Lum Wan's body is like a layer of silver light spread all over, misty and distant. After a while, the surrounding spiritual energy was constantly surging and tossing, forming a blossoming spiritual cloud. One after another, the spiritual thunder fell, and her body was madly absorbing the spiritual energy between heaven and earth like a bottomless pit. This kind of abnormality continued all night until a ray of sunlight broke out from the sky before it stopped. She slowly opened her eyes were as deep as the sea, with a sense of peace and tranquility, and an arc was raised on her lips. She stretched out a hand and looked at it, and as soon as her mind moved, a layer of silver light was covered on Hao's wrist, which was as white as jade. This is not the spirit fire body protection, but the benefit brought by the cultivation of the lower part of the witch god art to the second level. Her current body is invulnerable, as long as it is not a mid-level or higher artifact, it cannot be broken. The cultivation base has also hit the Earth origin realm and the void refinement stage at the same time, and many secret methods of cultivating immortals can also be used. Let's go. Lum Wan stood up and said to the little white beast lying not far away. Mo Yan jumped onto her shoulders. Well, they must be waiting. This time Lum Wan felt the bottleneck of breakthrough, so they found this place to break through alone. It was expected that it would only take 5 days, but who knew it took 10 days. Lum Wan and his party set out from the Biwan Imperial capital, and they used quest crystals to pick up quests along the way. Every time I go to a city, I will go to the branch of the Mercenary Union to hand in the task, and then continue. Because Zhongzhou is far away from Biwan Kingdom, they will use the formation method to transfer between cities according to the mission to the transfer station. As time passed, Lum Wan and his party also encountered several life and death dangers during the mission, but they all worked together to resolve them one by one, and the Mufeng mercenary group was successfully promoted to the 7th level. Along the way, they also recruited many mercenaries with good character to join, and once again rescued the Galewind mercenary group in crisis. Bulatin Zhan and others also joined the Mufeng mercenary group. Half-year later, the formation at the transfer station in Zhongzhou City continued to light up, and Lum Wan and his party walked out from inside. After exiting the transfer station, Bingji smiled and sighed. This transfer station is really easy to use. It can be transmitted over such a long distance, which is much more convenient than using the power of space to fly. Long Yao glanced at him and said, easy to use is easy to use, but our movements can be grasped by the transfer station. It is not suitable for those who do not want to be exposed. He could have used the teleportation array to go directly to Biwan Kingdom before, but he was afraid that the news would be leaked before he went on his own way. The master has the means to hide and change the breath. This time, you will continue to teleport along with you, Bingji said with a pouted mouth. A slight smile appeared on Long Yao's cold face. That's how powerful the hostess is. Which force controls the transfer station? Lum Wan asked curiously after hearing the words of the two in the sea of consciousness space. Long Yao replied, the transfer station is a powerful organization belonging to the dark market, so they can clearly grasp the movements of many people. The teleportation array at the transfer station is very useful. Not only can it greatly shorten the long distance and time on the road, but also avoid many dangers encountered in the journey, so many swordsmen prefer to expose their whereabouts to the dark market and spend money. The big price also needs to use the teleportation array. Lum Wan's eyes showed surprise. Can the forces in the dark market speak out? The dark market belongs to the underground dark organization, so in the Tianling continent, it is active below, and there are not many forces on the table. Of course, the dark market is a large organization involving the 4 domains in the Guangling world, and top forces such as the mercenary unions in the human domain cannot compare with them, and their industries are open-faced except for the killer organization. Long Yao paused and continued, the black market in Zhongzhou City is a huge organization, and many transactions are no longer underground transactions, but they are still mixed up and cannot guarantee safety. The power of the dark market is so huge, and the mysterious Dark Emperor doesn't know what race he is. Lum Wan touched his chin and asked, according to this, the power of the royal family in the underworld is no longer as strong as the dark market. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, Trash Against the World, BlackBelly Evil Wife is Too Arrogant Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 676. Lum Wan found that he was deeply influenced by the dark market of Tianling continent, so he readjusted his understanding of the dark market. Long Yao replied, the imperial family of the underworld is the largest empire in the human realm, surpassing all the countries established in the human realm, and it can be regarded as a super top force in the Guangling realm, but it is still inferior to the dark market. However, since the dark market is scattered in the 4 regions, although the overall strength is stronger than that of the royal family of the underworld, in terms of strength and influence in the human region, the dark market is much worse than the royal family of the underworld. Long Yao thought for a while and added. Lum Wan nodded, let's go to the black market when we have time. She had long heard of the existence of the black market, but she hadn't had a chance to see it before, and she would have more time to spare in Zhongzhou City. Okay, Long Yao said without hesitation, he likes liveliness the most. After leaving the transfer station, Lum Wan and others went to find the inn. Mu Yan, I have a different courtyard in Zhongzhou City, why don't you all live in my other courtyard? Xia Xuanyi suggested. Lum Wan smiled and declined, I may have to go out a lot recently. It's not convenient to live in another courtyard, so I'd better stay in an inn. She just contacted Mingxiu half a month ago. He would definitely come to see her when he arrived in Zhongzhou City. It would be very inconvenient to live in Xia Xuanyi's other courtyard. Xia Xuanyi didn't force it, and smiled, then what inn do you want to stay in? How about the most luxurious one in Zhongzhou? I'll pay. I like remote and quiet places. Lum Wan gave Xia Xuanyi a speechless look. After working together for more than half a year, she and Xia Xuanyi have also become good friends and companions. They are very speechless about this person who likes to pursue everything with the best temperament. Also because of this habit, every city they go to is the most luxurious and expensive inn. Okay, Wan has her own plans, don't make random suggestions, and Yukian also thought that it would be better for Lum Wan to stay in the inn. After getting along for half a year, they knew that Lum Wan was an ascending swordsman of the lower interface. In Zhongzhou City, it was a mixed bag, and it was better to keep a low profile in any place where they might be someone from an aristocratic family. The Mufeng mercenary group now has more than 30 members. Because the number of members is too conspicuous, Buletin Zhan took others to other places to do tasks. The brothers Lu Muting, Wu Nuan and Murong Qing came to Zhongzhou to watch the Lum Wan competition. The headquarters of the mercenary union was in Zhongzhou City. After taking Lum Wan and others to an inn with an elegant and quiet environment, and Yuxuan and the others also left and went back to the headquarters. Zhongzhou City is very large, and the major forces each have their own spheres of influence to manage, but there is no major force in the center of the city, which is negotiated. After Lum Wan checked into the inn, Long Yao left and went back to report to Mingxiu. The palace of the royal family of the underworld is also in Zhongzhou City, but if it takes a day to travel from the center of the city to the Imperial Palace, Long Yao can fly very quickly using space. Zhongzhou City is the political power center of the entire Guangling world. It is dominated by the royal family of the underworld, supplemented by other major forces, which are distributed vertically and horizontally. In addition to a few divided areas, there are special guards guarding and patrolling the city. Fighting and flying in the sky are not allowed. Otherwise, not only will they be severely punished, but they will also be driven out of Zhongzhou City. After resting in the room for a while, Lum Wan took out a 7-rank advanced formation and arranged it. She would know if there was any trouble in the whole yard. After the formation was arranged, a soft light enveloped the room and then the hidden space disappeared. A wisp of black smoke emerged from Lum Wan's pendant and transformed into a handsome man in black. You've been cultivating for a long time. This time Lum Wan looked at Jun Luokan and raised her eyebrows. After ascending to the Guangling realm, Jun Luokan said that he was going to retreat and practice, but he never showed up. Jun Luokan sat opposite Lum Wan with a sarcastic smile in his eyes and said, as soon as you arrived in the Guangling realm, I found the artifact sweep, which was specially designed to search for the souls of the demons, so I didn't show up. His good brother now doubts that his soul has not completely dissipated. Just when I felt a bottleneck, I practiced for a while. Lum Wan glanced at Jun Luokan, slightly surprised. You actually arrived at the Tianyuan realm. This time, she also had to sigh that Jun Luokan and Mo Yan, who were originally from the Guangling realm, came back to practice at the same speed. Hasn't Mo Yan arrived at the Tianyuan realm long ago? Jun Luokan shrugged and said, what's so strange about my cultivation base reaching the Tianyuan realm? You were also an expert in the fusion realm before, right? Lum Wan asked with a chuckle. Jun Luokan nodded, yeah. As the demon realm's demon lord, if he doesn't have the cultivation base of the fusion realm, how can he go on? Then who is more powerful between you and Mo Yan? Lum Wan asked curiously. Mo Yan glanced at Jun Luokan lightly and said, I used to be a practitioner of the fusion of the middle realm. The demon domain does not have a demon lord, but is divided into several realms to rule like the sea, and he used to be the demon king of one of the realms. I'm higher than you in terms of cultivation. I used to be a cultivation base that integrates with the upper realm, Jun Luokan said with a smile. I thought you all merged into the realm of heaven and man. Lum Wan smiled slightly. Jun Luokan rolled her eyes at her. Fusion of heaven and human realm is the highest cultivation level in the Guangling world. For example, the Dark Emperor of the Dark City may be a powerhouse of fusion of heaven and human realm. I'm still far behind. Actually, I'm still relatively young and I already have extraordinary talent to reach the upper level of fusion, but there are a few old guys in our demon temple who have reached the level of fusion between heaven and human. There will be no more than 100 strong people in the entire Guangling realm who can reach the fusion of heaven and man, Mo Yan said slowly, and when they reach such a realm, they are basically seniors from the top forces or super clans. There's not much to get them to notice and show up. Yes, except for the danger of the family, those old guys rarely appear, Jun Luokan said. They have their own circles and spaces, and most of the powerhouses who integrate the heaven and human realm are retreating to seek the final calamity. Breakthrough. Well, I understand. Lum Wan knew that many of the spiritual world's great powers with peak cultivation in the Mahayana period seldom appeared in the world. Although their lifespans were very long, they were also limited, and they had to deal with thunder tribulations frequently. Most of the time they are in closed-door practice. By the way, will there be thunder tribulation after the promotion and breakthrough to the fusion realm? She thought about it and asked. Yes, as long as you advance to the fusion realm, there will be a thunderstorm every few hundred years. If you can't survive, you will be bombed to death, Jun Luokan said helplessly. There is a small part of the fusion realm in the Guangling realm. The strong died in the thunder tribulation, and I almost got hacked to death once. Then you should cultivate well, you should cherish this rare opportunity to come back, and don't be killed when dealing with thunder tribulation in the future, Lum Wan said with a smile. Mo Yan glanced at Lum Wan and stopped talking. Why did he always feel that this woman was gloating? The corner of Jun Luokan's mouth twitched. You're not going to be struck by lightning if you advance to the fusion realm in the future. It's okay. I like being struck by lightning the most, Lum Wan smiled confidently. One of the greatest benefits of the witch god art is that it can transform the power of thunder and lightning to quench the body. The great master who created the witch god art in the spiritual world is also successfully ascended to immortality because of this practice. Therefore, other people may be afraid of being struck to death by lightning tribulation, but she is absolutely not afraid, and she likes the coming of lightning tribulation very much. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 677. That night, Lum Wan sat on the roof to absorb the power of the sun, moon, and stars. After the lower part of the witch god art reaches the second layer, it needs to absorb the power of the stars and the power of lightning to quench the body and continue to strengthen, and the essence of the stars will be more perfectly reflected. The formation she set up in the inn suddenly fluctuated, and when she opened her eyes, she saw a meditative cultivator in a red robe falling in front of her on the roof. Yanner then she was pulled into his arms by Mingxiu and hugged tightly. "I miss you so much." Lum Wan's heart moved, and he wrapped his arms around Mingxiu. "I miss you too." The feeling of longing that she had never experienced before, since she met and fell in love with meditation, she realized that it was so beautiful and expected to miss a person. Hearing Lum Wan's clear and sweet voice, Mingxiu's heart felt itchy as if being scratched by a kitten's claws. He lowered his head and kissed Lum Wan's moist pink lips, gently tossing and lingering. Lum Wan wrapped his neck around his neck and kissed back a little bit, grimacingly. After hugging and kissing, the two sat side by side on the roof watching the stars. Mingxiu stretched out his left hand and clasped Lum Wan's fingers together. "Yanner, are you sure about the alchemy competition?" "Yes, I have been promoted to the 8th rank alchemist," Lum Wan said, leaning on Mingxiu's shoulder. Mingxiu's deep eyes were full of anticipation. "I believe that Yanner will definitely win the championship." "Well, but there are many talents in the younger generation in the Guangling world, and I may meet a strong enemy." Lum Wan never looked down on anyone, especially the talents in Zhongzhou. Meditation thought for a while and said, "I'll help you sort out a list of the more powerful alchemists in the 5 states to advance to the finals." "No, knowing too much makes the challenge less fun." Lum Wan was confident and chuckled. "I prefer excitement, so I'm looking forward to someone who can surprise me with a challenge." The corners of Mingxiu's lips raised an arc. His woman was special, but this was also the side he liked. He also likes excitement, likes a challenge, and they are a natural couple. "Okay," he paused and said, "recently, my father and emperor came out of retreat and needed me to be with me often. I should watch the alchemy competition with the royal family, and I may not be able to accompany you. It's all right, I was always concerned about my participation in the finals of the alchemy conference, and we will also be discovered together," Lum Wan replied. Mingxiu took Lum Wan into his arms and asked, "Yanner, why don't we make our relationship public? When the alchemy competition is over, I'll join the mercenary union." Lum Wan didn't want anything to happen because of their public relationship. She heard that the people of the royal family in the underworld are very proud and strong. If they open their relationship, she is afraid that when the royal family invites her to be an alchemist, she can't refuse, and she does not want to participate in the affairs of the royal family. And she didn't know whether people in the royal family, such as Mingxiu's father, would allow him to find a woman with no background to form a double cultivation partner. She hoped that when the relationship was made public, her identity could match his. Mingxiu didn't care what others thought of Lum Wan, but he wanted to give her the best, and he wouldn't force her. "Okay, then we will open up our relationship later." Mingxiu kissed her forehead and said, "Yanner, don't worry, the woman I like will also like my father." In the royal family of the underworld, the only person he valued the most was his father. As for what other people had to do with him, well, I hope. Lum Wan smiled slightly. In the early morning, Lum Wan jumped off the roof when the sun shone down on the yard. Mingxiu had already left when it was almost dawn, and no one found him. Master Bingji immediately came over to see Lum Wan's practice. "The center of Zhongzhou city is very lively, there are many shops, and your spirit grass is about to run out. Let's go shopping." Lum Wan looked at him amusingly and said, "It's fake to buy something, it's real if you want to go out for a walk." "Hey, I can't hide anything from the master." Bingji smiled shyly. Meow Meow and Swexia couldn't sit still. Master, let's go out for a walk." "Okay, call my second brother and let them go together." "I'll go call them." Meow Meow smiled and ran to call someone. Shui has been a handsome young man with a delicate face and fair skin since he was promoted to the Danyuan realm, and his temperament is not as active as Miao Miao. After Lum Wen took a shower and came out, the others also arrived, so they went to the center of the city together. Zhongzhou City is prosperous with a kind of ancient and simple atmosphere. The street in the middle is very wide and can accommodate 6 horse-drawn carriages. There are row upon row of shops on both sides of the street. Every shop has a sense of low-key luxury. The people who come and go are not only above the sword masters on average, but also dressed in different clothes. It can be seen that many sword masters from other places have recently poured in to watch the alchemy competition. Lum Wen and a few others visited several shops selling spirit grass, and also bought some spirit grass seeds. As for the 8th level spirit grass, these shops did not have them. Strolling the street, Miao Miao pointed to a luxurious shop in front and said, "Master, there are women's jewelry and accessories, let's go and have a look." "Well, let's go." Lum Wen also saw the shop that was very conspicuous on the whole street. This should be the largest jewelry store in Zhongzhou City. Women's business is the best way to do it, so there are special forces that will recruit some skilled craftsmen in refining tools to make the jewelry worn by women into magic tools. Not only does it allow beauty-loving women to dress up more beautifully, but it also has defense or attack functions. The best of both worlds is very popular among female swordsmen. Of course, in addition to women's things, such stores also sell men's accessories, which also include formation or offensive and defensive functions. Immediately after entering the store, a waiter greeted him. "What do the young masters and young ladies want to see?" The waiter was a very handsome young man with a baby face, and he recommended with a smile, "We recently brought a batch of jewelry, which is very suitable for the temperament of the young ladies. Do you need to see it?" Although Lum Wen and his party were not too ostentatious, they were definitely not bad. In addition, the handsome men and women had extraordinary temperament, so the vicious-eyed waiter regarded them as big customers before introducing new jewelry. "Okay, then show us." Lum Wen thought about buying some beautiful jewelry and accessories for Miao Miao, Chawang, and Wu Nuan. "A few, please come with me." The waiter led a few people up to the 3rd floor with a smile. Because the alchemy competition is about to start, many young masters and young ladies from other states have come to Zhongzhou City, and their business has been very hot recently. Having served as a waiter for more than 10 years, he could naturally see whether those people could afford it, so he was extra polite to them. Lum Wen and others followed the waiter to the 3rd floor. At the same time, the other 2 groups also entered the store one after another, and were introduced to the 3rd floor by the other waiters. "My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant." Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 678. Lum Wen and others went up to the 3rd floor, and the messenger took out a jade slip and handed it to her. "This is the introduction of our treasure pavilion and the sale list of most items. The value of the newly arrived precious jewelry is above the items in the jade slip. Do you need to see the real thing?" The baby-faced man could naturally see who was headed by this group of people. The purpose of what he said was also to let Lum Wen and others see the value of the items clearly. Lum Wen nodded and put his mental energy into the jade slip to look at it. Every piece of jewelry or accessories in it was very expensive. "Is the price of the newly arrived jewelry you mentioned enough to hire a beautiful artifact?" She raised her head and asked indifferently. The baby-faced man smiled and replied, "Almost. There are a few treasures that are indeed priced at the same price as artifacts, and there is even a set that is worth a mid-grade artifact. However, value for money is our philosophy of treasure pavilion. The value of jewelry is high, but the quality is also equal. A piece of jewelry has the fine craftsmanship of the crafting master, and the power of the array will not be lower than the power of the artifact." He added. "Okay, let's take a look at your new batch of jewelry." Lum Wen smiled. The spirit stones in her hands are still very rich. In the past 6 months, they have encountered several waves of relatively powerful robbers. To buy spiritual items, it is not a big problem to ask for a few low-quality artifacts. Artifacts on the lower level interface are considered extremely rare instruments, and it is impossible for a swordsman with a sword god level to have one per hand. Artifacts are divided into low grade, middle grade, high grade, top grade, and unparalleled. Although low grade and middle grade are precious, they are not rare. High grade items are more rare. If you want to get them, you usually have to go to places such as secret realms to find them, or you need to go to large auctions. Luck. And the best artifacts are extremely precious, and many of the powerhouses in the Tianyuan realm use such artifacts. As for the divine treasure, it is no longer the same level as the divine weapon. A low-grade divine treasure that comes out at will can definitely attract all major forces to fight and snatch frantically. Such a divine weapon is rarely owned by the powerhouses in the Tianyuan realm, and most of them are in the fusion realm. In the hands of the strong. Refining high-grade artifacts requires a 9th-grade artifact refiner, while divine treasures require a legendary 10th-grade artifact refiner who has mastered many comprehension laws to refine them. One can imagine how difficult it is. She was promoted to the Earth Origin realm 3 months ago, and the third layer function of the ice bracelet was also activated. She also had a deeper connection with the artifact spirit in the artifact, and learned a lot about the artifact and treasure. The ice bracelet is actually a divine treasure that can continuously improve its quality with the master's cultivation. Of course, it is not promoted by the master, but it is a divine treasure in itself, and each layer of seals is only opened according to the strength of the master's cultivation. But even so, Lum Wen could find its strengths, especially when the third layer function was turned on. It really gave her a surprise. Please wait a moment, everyone. The baby-faced man laughed even more brilliantly when he heard the joke, and immediately went to get the steward something. Then the two maids served a cup of spiritual tea for Lum Wen and the others. It turns out that the treasure pavilion is the largest jewelry and accessories store in Xianxia. It's no wonder that there are jewelry that can hire American and Chinese artifacts. Lu Muting looked at the jade slip and sighed. The two Murongqing brothers and Fei Yanchen belonged to the most powerful forces in Bizhu before. They knew something about the treasure pavilion, but they never visited. After all, one of them is not a woman, and the other is not married. Most of the things here are only suitable for female swordsmen. The items in the treasure pavilion are not only of high quality. I heard that each piece is a fine product that has been carefully crafted by a senior craftsman. It is powerful in function and beautiful in appearance. Therefore, it is welcomed by the female swordsmen in the mainland Murong Yusei. During the conversation, the baby-faced man walked over and sat down with a wealthy butler. The steward asked a few people a good word without being long-winded, took out a space ring and moved the contents to the table. These are 3 pieces of jewelry and 2 pieces of jewelry refined by Master Ren. It's a mid-grade artifact that combines both offense and defense. With the highest value. The steward smiled and pointed to one of the jewelry introductions on the table. Then he added, the other jewelry are made by 8th grade smiths, and they are very precious, but they don't match. Several young ladies and young masters can choose more. Lum Wan's eyes fell on the set of middle grade jewelry. The pattern of the jewelry is based on the theme of elegant and reserved orchid, and each piece of jewelry and accessories seems to contain a kind of artistic conception full of vitality. Each orchid ornament has a different shape and blooms independently, crystal clear, natural, noble, holy and independent. Lum Wan liked the set of jewelry very much at a glance. She picked up one of the pair of earrings and looked at them. There were 7 layers of prohibition sealed inside. In fact, it was considered a defensive mid-grade artifact. Meow Meow obviously prefers shiny things, which definitely inherits the characteristics of the dragon family. She immediately chose 3 red, blue, and green rings, slaps and head accessories for herself. Chi Huang likes rose red jewelry, so he chose just 2 rose red earrings and necklaces. Wu Nuan prefers yellow and blue, so she chose a yellow belt and a bunch of blue earrings. Bingji took an emerald green pendant unceremoniously, but the other men did not see a suitable one. These are all. Lum Wen pointed to the things Miao Miao and the others had chosen on the table, then shook the orchid earrings on her hand and asked, "How many spirit stones do you need for the set of jewelry?" If it's within the range she accepts, she doesn't mind buying one she likes, but if it's too expensive, she needs to think about it. After all, there are still so many spiritual pets eating big households, and no matter how many spiritual stones she has, she won't spend it. The alchemist finals are about to be held, and many powerful swordsmen will gather in the imperial capital. Ming Xiu said that there will be a big auction after that, and she has to save some spirit stones for the auction. The baby boy was overjoyed when he heard that Lum Wen wanted so many things. This group of people is really a big customer. After selling so many things, his income this month will be doubled. The steward said with a smile, "This set of jewelry is not only a set of mid-grade artifacts, but the spar used to carve each orchid jewelry is a heaven-level spiritual object, so the price is a bit high, but it is absolutely excellent value. It can't be sold separately. The 5 pieces together require a total of 200 million mid-grade spirit stones." Then the steward said an extremely high price. Lum Wen heard that the price was similar to what she had estimated in her heart. She had more than this number of mid-grade spirit stones in her hand, so she could still afford it. And judging from the carving work and quality of the set of jewelry, this price is indeed not a hoax. She was about to say yes, but another voice took a step forward, "I want this set of jewelry." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 679. Lum Wen and others followed the voice and saw a woman wearing a blue palace dress with a cool temperament strolling over, followed by 2 women behind her. The person who spoke just now was not this glamorous woman in palace dress, but a medium-looking woman who was wearing a lake green long dress behind her and looked much inferior. Lum Wen and the Lenjian woman's eyes crossed each other for a moment, and they both felt an inexplicable feeling of unpleasantness towards each other in their hearts. In fact, this can be regarded as the 6th sense of a strong person, and their breaths are mutually exclusive. However, the woman in the palace dress did not take Lum Wen, a swordsman who had only cultivated at the early stage of the Earth Origin realm, to heart. The steward of the treasure pavilion was also stunned when he saw the 3 of them going upstairs. Then he stood up with a smile and said, "Miss Lan, Miss Zhu, and Miss Shi." His tone was more polite, but not much respectful. After all, the power behind the treasure pavilion was huge. "Wrap this set of jewelry for me." The woman in the lake green dress directly ignored Lum Wen and the others and said to the steward. Lum Wen played with the earrings in her hands and didn't open her mouth, but she wanted to see how the number 1 treasure pavilion in Zhongzhou would react. This. The steward looked a little embarrassed, and he didn't like Miss Zhu's style. He turned to look at Lum Wen and asked, "Miss, do you want to buy the set of jewelry?" His meaning was obvious: if Lum Wen wanted to buy it, he would sell it to her, and if he didn't, he would sell it to that Miss Zhu. Naturally Lum Wen also ignored the sharp gaze that the woman had seen, and spoke calmly. The Miss Zhu obviously didn't expect Lum Wen to dare to sing opposite her. She looked at the steward unhappy and asked, "How do you do things? I asked for this jewelry first." The steward is not a mess. The steward who can climb to the treasure pavilion naturally has his own way of doing things, and if he deliberately caters to all customers, he will lose the face of the treasure pavilion. "Miss Zhu, this lady sees the jewelry first. Our treasure pavilion always has a first come first served rule, so if she wants the set of jewelry, she will naturally sell it to her according to the rules," the steward replied lightly. Zhu Xiaoliu squinted his eyes and looked directly at Lum Wan and said arrogantly, "This set of jewelry is what Miss wants." She is the direct line lady of the Zhu family from a large family in Zhongzhou. She has been in Zhongzhou city since she was a child, but she has never seen these people before, and she thinks that they are people from other states. She is not afraid of the other party even if it is a big family from another state. She has lived recklessly on the territory of Zhongzhou for so many years, and she is really not afraid of anyone except those who cannot offend. After all, her mother is the cousin of the first queen. So what? Lum Wan raised her eyebrows lightly. Can't you understand what the steward said? In terms of arrogance, Lum Wan was not afraid of anyone at all. You. Zhu Xiaoliu was stunned and obviously did not expect the other party to dare to choke her like that. She raised her chin and asked arrogantly, "Do you know who this lady is? Who are you and what does it have to do with me?" Lum Wan retracted his gaze speechlessly, took out a ring containing more than 300 million mid-grade spirit stones and handed it to the steward. "This is a spirit stone for buying jewelry, please order it." The steward checked and said with a smile, "The number is just right, these jewelry and accessories are all misses." Lum Wan's mind moved, and the set of orchid jewelry was put away directly, and Meow Meow and other spiritual pets also put away the items they picked out. If it wasn't for Lum Wan telling them not to be impulsive in the sea of consciousness, they would all want to rush up and beat that ugly woman. "I'm from the Zhu family in Zhongzhou city." "Where are you from and dare to ignore Miss Ben?" Zhu Xiaoliu was angry. She is used to being arrogant among the younger generation in Zhongzhou, because the reason for the first empress and the Lan family is that the disciples of the super family will give her a bit of thin noodles. "You really look like someone from the pig family," Bingji sneered, glanced up and down at the other party and wrapped his arms around him, saying, "You look like a pig. You." When did Zhu Xiaoliu suffer such an insult? When she was angry, she took out a whip and swung it towards the ice halberd. Bingji smiled sarcastically, moved the space at will and distorted it, and the opponent's whip landed directly on a vase not far away. Bang, the vase was shattered. Seeing this, the steward's face darkened instantly. "Miss Zhu, this is the treasure pavilion, you can't fight here even if you are Miss Zhu's family." No wonder it was said that the Zhu family was just clinging to the mud that the Lan family couldn't support on the wall. Seeing the disposition of the Zhu family's direct descendant, he believed it now. "Papa," then there was a burst of applause, and a woman in an orange dress walked over with a man and a woman. The description is good. "Feng Liu, why are you here?" Zhu Xiaoliu's pupils shrank when she saw the visitor. Feng Liu glanced at Zhu Xiaoliu casually and said, "You can come, why can't I?" Immediately, she turned the conversation and said with a smile, "Otherwise, how can you see this good show where you make a fool of yourself? You." Zhu Xiaoliu glared at Feng Liu fiercely, and then looked at the glamorous woman in the blue palace uniform to help. "Cousin, I originally bought this set of orchid jewelry for you." Feng Liu is the daughter of the head of the Feng family, a super big family in Zhongzhou. Their Zhu family can't compare with her, but her cousin Lan County's identity is not comparable. The most important thing is that the Feng family and the Lan family have already torn their faces, otherwise she would not be able to take advantage of the Lan family's power to often challenge Feng Liu. Lan Ruoshui didn't interject from the beginning to the end, as if it was something that had nothing to do with her. Hearing Zhu Xiaoliu's words, she glanced at Lum Wan indifferently and said indifferently, "Jewelry like that can't get into my eyes." Her meaning is obvious, that kind of thing can't be seen, and others can take it if they want. Lum Wan turned her eyes to restrain her expression and did not speak. She would not be retarded to argue with the other party for such a quick talk, and they did not say anything against it. "That's right, cousin, you are the Princess Lan who was proclaimed by the Underworld Emperor, and the cousin of the 9th Prince's childhood sweetheart. You don't need any amount of middle-grade artifact jewelry," Zhu Xiaoliu said with a smile. Although the 9th Prince is also her cousin, she is not qualified to address him directly as a cousin, and she must address him respectfully as His Highness the Ninth Prince or His Royal Highness. Lum Wen heard that Zhu Xiaoliu's words did not fluctuate much, but she couldn't help but be surprised. It turned out that this woman with a cold temperament was Ming Xiu's childhood sweetheart cousin. The body of Ming Xiu has always been practicing in Tianling continent. I heard Long Yao say that he has never been close to that woman, so how did they become childhood sweethearts? She believed in meditation, so she didn't have a trace of sourness in her heart, she just thought it was funny. No wonder she and the Lan County master were disgusted at first sight. The magnetic field was wrong, it turned out to be a rotten peach blossom of meditation. Lan Ruoshui said to Zhu Xiaoliu coldly, "Let's go." After speaking, she turned around and went downstairs, directly ignoring Feng Liu, who was not a nose to her and her eyes were not eyes. Is Ming Xiu something that a woman like Zhu Xiaoliu is qualified to talk about? Joke. She has lost her face, and she is still complacent here. The Zhu family's tutoring is really getting worse and worse. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 680. Lum Wen watched Princess Lan leave, thoughtfully. This woman should have broken through the ice attribute cultivation and entered the next realm. Moreover, she sensed a dangerous aura from the opponent's body. If she were to face each other, it would be impossible to say whether she would win or lose without using Mo Yan's secret technique. The other party is the niece of the first queen's family, and she is the master of Lan County, who was proclaimed by Emperor Hades. Her cultivation resources since childhood were several times more than those of Lum Wen in Tianling continent. The cultivators who were placed in the lower realm were incomparable in terms of training resources before their return. After all, the royal family of the underworld wanted this kind of training, and it wasn't that they couldn't afford the resources. That woman may have the strength of the late Tianyuan realm or the peak. Mo Yan's voice sounded in Lum Wen's sea of consciousness. She may also practice several secret techniques. Mo Yan's racial talent has an innate advantage in investigating spirit grasses and spirits and the other party's details, and Lum Wen would not doubt it. She is also an alchemist. Lum Wen found from the brief contact just now that in addition to the scent of orchids, there was a faint medicinal fragrance hidden on her body, and her level is not low. She should be your strong enemy in this alchemy competition, Mo Yan added in his heart, and she may also be a rival in love in the future. But in his heart, he also believed that Ming Xiu would not have any heart for this woman, and that he would not do this kind of thing with his pride. I like strong enemies with challenges, Lum Wen smiled. After Princess Lan left, Feng Liu pouted, and then looked at Lum Wen with a hint of inquiry. For some reason, she always felt a sense of intimacy about this stunning woman. Lum Wen raised her head to look at the beautiful and agile woman opposite her. Those big eyes were staring at her, but she did not resent it at all, but found it very cute. This woman named Feng Liu carried a sense of intimacy that Lum Wen couldn't even tell, but she didn't hate it anyway. You're really good. Feng Liu sat down opposite Lum Wen with a smile. There are not many people who dare to give Zhu Xiaoliu a face like this in Zhongzhou City. Zhu Xiaoliu and the Zhu family behind her are nothing, but the Lan family, who is inextricably linked with the Nether Palace royal family, is taboo for others. After all, the first queen was the daughter of the Lan family's previous head, the younger sister of the current head of the family, and the underworld emperor Iwu and Wu, so the Lan family was able to change from a big family to a super family in Zhongzhou. But if you put aside the royal family, the background of the Lan family is not as deep as that of the Feng family, and the strength is not as strong as the Feng family. I don't know what the Zhu family's identity is in Zhongzhou City. Lum Wen smiled. She couldn't let the other party slap in the face when the other party found fault, so she naturally had to fight back, so she didn't stop Bing Ji from mocking Miss Zhu. After Princess Lan and Miss Zhu came in, she didn't think about the identity of the other party at all, and she was never a fearful master. That way you dare to snatch her stuff and choke her, it's delicious, I like it, Feng Liu said with a big smile, blinking her big eyes. Lum Wen chuckled, wrong, she wanted to rob me, but she didn't. She also likes the way of doing things in the treasure pavilion, so it is more comfortable to buy things in stores opened by major forces. That's right, that woman likes to steal other people's things since she was a child, and then flatter that cold woman Lan Ruoshui. Feng Liu nodded disdainfully. Lum Wen smiled and did not reply. She could see that the Lan family and the Feng family had a lot of grudges, otherwise the arrogant daughters of the two families would not be so hostile. What's your name? Let's leave it to a friend. Feng Liu doesn't know why, but she has a deep love for this elegant woman in purple. My name is Feng Liu. My name is Lum Wen. Lum Wen also has a good impression of Feng Liu, she likes this kind of woman with a sunny smell. You're not from Zhongzhou City, right? Feng Liu asked in a sure tone. She had never heard of Lu's family in Zhongzhou City, but judging from Lum Wen's temperament, it didn't look like they came from a small family. Well, I came to Zhongzhou City recently. Lum Wen did not deny it. Are you here to see the Pill Tower Alchemist competition? Feng Liu continued to ask. Yeah, Lum Wen nodded, taking part in the alchemy competition. Feng Liu thought for a while and reminded, Zhu Xiaoliu's character and strength are not very good, but he is more vengeful, you should be careful with her in Zhongzhou City. The Zhu family is not very good, but the backing is the Lan family of the super family. Thank you for reminding me, I will pay attention, Lum Wen said with a smile. The two chatted a few more times, and Lum Wen took the others and left the treasure pavilion. Feng Liu touched her chin and thought for a while, before leaving the treasure pavilion. Zhongzhou Fengjia Forbidden Land. A stunningly beautiful woman in white opened her eyes, she stroked the position of her heart, and a strange emotion rose. She stood up and walked a few steps, and her figure gradually disappeared into the forbidden area. Today is the annual family reunion of the Feng family. The woman has not attended for many years, but this time she decided to go to the party hall of the Feng family. As soon as she walked into the party hall, she attracted everyone's astonished gazes, and the head of the Feng family was stunned and immediately greeted her with a smile. Little sister, you are finally willing to come out of the forbidden area. The woman in white smiled lightly, Big brother is joking. Come on, let's go to the seat. The head of the Feng family knew what her sister's temperament was, especially what happened 50 years ago made her rarely step out of the forbidden area. Of course, it wasn't that the Feng family had imprisoned her, but that she had been in seclusion and training in the forbidden area of the Feng family, and she didn't want to come out. The woman in white nodded and followed the head of the Feng family to the table above. Everyone in the Feng family knows that her identity is the most favorite granddaughter of the ancestors of the Feng family. Just because something happened, her character became very cold. She sat down and took a sip from the wine glass. Her expression did not change, but she let go of her mental strength and observed the younger disciples of the Feng family. The head of the family and the people with identities in the Feng family were sitting at the two upper tables. After the table was opened, the younger generation of the family at other tables gradually let go of their conversations. The Feng family has always been at odds with the Lan family and the Zhu family, and it is well known that they often fight each other when they meet. During the dinner, Feng Liu took what happened in the treasure pavilion today as gossip. Zhu Xiaoliu's face turned green today, but unfortunately that woman Lan Ruoshui didn't respond. A young man from the Feng family beside her was a little curious about the woman Feng Liu mentioned, and asked with a smile, "You made friends with that woman, so what's her name? Does she also have a strong background? Otherwise, how dare you fight against Zhu Xiaoliu in public? Her name is Lum Wen. I don't know what her background is. I have never heard of Lu's family, but her temperament doesn't seem to come from a small family," Feng Liu replied. The woman in white who was sitting at the head suddenly froze when she heard the name Lum Wen, her white hand holding the wine glass tightened.